Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig Patterson for DS Sports as always, and we're back. It has been a long time again, but we're back. The Scottish club football returned last weekend and we're here to recap the return of it. All the fixtures that came back, especially after what was a pretty tough international break for Scotland. It's good to have club football back, maybe a welcome distraction from it all, just to get away from what was a pretty dismal time. I was a bit too miserable to recap the Scotland game, the Belgium game should I say, after we lost 4-0, some pretty shoddy defending and some world class talent pretty much having to play at 60% to even be remotely as effective against our team. But anyway guys, we're back to Scottish football. We're going to recap, as we've done very recently, over all four divisions in Scotland, especially after the Challenge Cup results. I won't get into that too much. It's not something that particularly interests me. It's not really that effective, I don't think. You've got teams playing against all these random teams from Wales, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, England, these National League sides all of a sudden making an appearance, so I won't fixate on them too much. I might make the odd reference to them over the course of this video, but we're going to go through it all. We're going to see what the tables lie and who has done the best here over the last week. As always guys, remember to like and comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you to all who are subscribing at the moment, it really does mean a lot. But we're going to get straight into it. We're going to go straight, as we do, to the top flight, and we're going to start at the 12 o'clock kickoff on the Saturday afternoon. It was Hamilton 0, Celtic 1. It was an early James Forrest goal that settled it all in the end. You thought after maybe 4 minutes Celtic getting in front they would perhaps kick on, score 2, 3, 4 more, but it turns out it wasn't to be on this occasion. It was just going to be the one. The flurry of chances coming in for Celtic there, although Hamilton did resist but didn't quite get anything themselves to split the points evenly. But Celtic 5 wins out of 5, still motoring on and still at the top of the table. We then go to 3 o'clock games. We start going alphabetical order. We're at Pittodrie. It's Aberdeen 1, St Johnstone 1. Ryan Hedges with the early goal. The defence kind of opened it up a wee bit. After a few deflections, it fell to Ryan Hedges, who managed to fire home powerfully through the legs of Xander Clark. But then just before half time, Michael O'Halloran's shot kind of trickled its way past Joe Lewis. You would have expected him to do slightly better, but in the whole game of the completion, it was a point that St Johnstone rightfully deserved. They had a couple of really good chances in the second half. They looked a completely different team, but their almost continuous defensive frailties counting against them for the opening goal. The penalty that was originally given by the referee, Stephen McLean, after Michael Kennedy managed to get in behind the Aberdeen defence, but it was rightfully overruled in my opinion. Very minimal contact, did look like a dive from Mikey Kennedy, so rightfully chalked off. Good bit of refereeing, good bit of teamwork from the officiating team there, and it would be honours even at Pittodrie, a welcome point for St Johnstone, especially since they're not in a good run of form. Not in a good run of form, not in a great run of fixtures either. We've got Rangers next week, this coming weekend, so it doesn't get any easier for them. We go to Hearts, and yes, this is a massive kick in the nuts if you're a Jambos fan. Another defeat for Hearts, that albeit this one at home, I'm almost quite emphatic to be honest. They did grind the way back a little bit, but it was 3 points in the end for Stephen Robinson's men. The Well 3-0 up. At one stage, Declan Gallagher with a fairly straightforward finish, although it was a very emphatic one too. To give Hamlin, it's not Hamlin of course, the bit of a stupid one stupid mistake to make. To give Motherwell a 1-0 half-time lead before Sherwin Seedoff got got off the mark 7 minutes after the break before. Sorry, it wasn't 3-0 at one stage. Sorry, I'm misreading. I did actually see the highlights as well. Uche Piazzu did get a goal back. It was a bit of a scramble finish, but he did manage to slot home to give Hearts perhaps a bit of hope in the game. But it was slowly, the 2-goal lead was slowly restored about 5 minutes later when Jermaine Hilton got the third from Motherwell halfway through the second half. 66 minutes had gone, and then Ryotaro Machino, a sort of late summer signing for Hearts, he made it 3-2, but it was not to be enough, and it was another defeat for Hearts, yet to get off the mark in the win column in the league, remain bottom of the league, and a lot of protests made towards the board, and especially the gaffer Craig Levein. Quite a lot of Hearts fans are wanting him out the door, and arguably rightfully so. They've been pretty terrible since the start of the Premier League, the Premiership season, and yeah, they should be doing a lot better, especially with the squad they have. It's a very good squad too, but not good enough if you're a Hearts fan. Pretty similar. What's the word I'm looking for? Pretty similar result and pretty similar problems if you're in the other half of Edinburgh. Hibernian going down 2-0 at Kilmarnock. It was a brilliant Stephen O'Donnell crossfield pass / through ball, setting up Liam Miller for the opener in the second half before Mohamed El Makrini doubled Kilmarnock's lead 11 minutes from time, and it was a pretty dismal result, pretty dismal outing for Paul Heckingbottom's men, and it now leaves pretty much a question now: who's going to go first out of the two gaffers in Edinburgh? Is it going to be Levein or is it going to be Hecky? A lot of people are saying it could well be Hecky because there's a lot of loyalty from Anne Budge. Anne Budge has just recently come out today saying that there is backing. They back Craig Levein. They believe that he'll get them out of this tough spot, but they're not playing good football, and neither are Hibernian. And Hecky is in big trouble in Leith. Moving on, it was looking very good for Livy. They put in a very good first half showing. Had a couple of chances in there, and almost deservedly got their lead just a couple of minutes after the break. Stephen Lawless tucking away a penalty to give the West Lothian side the lead, but James Tavernier with a free kick from the left hand side, he's managing to miss absolutely everybody and gaining an equaliser for the Jers. And then Alfredo Morelos and Brandon Barker getting goals in the last 20 minutes of that one, as Rangers managed to pull away and get the 3 points that they so desperately need to keep up with their old firm rivals. So a good win for Stephen Gerrard. Lyndon Dykes was sent off for 2 yellows, 2 pretty silly yellows in the end, especially the last one where he just kind of lashes out a wee bit and deserves a yellow card, and which ended up being the second yellow there. So pretty dismal one there for Livy. Well, after what was such a good game, obviously Rangers coming back into it and getting all 3 points in the end at Ibrox. And then last but not least, up at Dingwall, it was Ross County 2, St Mirren 1. Ross Stewart eventually giving Ross County the lead. It was a very even affair to begin with, but they've finally broken in the 62nd minute. Ross Stewart getting the goal, another goal for him. I think that's maybe like 4 or 5 that he's on for the season. Might be wrong, maybe slightly underplaying that one there. Tony Andrew getting an equaliser 10 minutes later in the 72nd minute. It was pretty team effort from the free kick, but managed to go straight underneath the Ross County stopper and into the back of the net before Marcus Fraser got the stoppage time winner, meaning Ross County get a second win of the season. I think it's their first since opening day against Hamilton at home, but nevertheless 3 very important points for the joint managers up there in Kettlewell and Ferguson. So that leaves the table a little bit like this. Celtic, as I said before, 5 wins out of 5. Rangers 3 points behind them after that Old Firm defeat just before the international break. Motherwell 2 points behind them after a very good start to the season. Aberdeen, Livy and Kilmarnock making up the top 6, with Ross County, Hamilton, Hibs, St Mirren, St Johnstone and Hearts all making up the tail enders there. St Mirren with the 3 points after their win against Aberdeen, and St Johnstone and Hearts yet to get off the mark. So not a great start like we said before for Hibs, St Johnstone and Hearts. St Johnstone maybe more expected so after a dismal League Cup campaign, but obviously Hibs and Hearts really struggling to get going. And we'll go through the fixtures coming up this weekend later on in the programme. Sorry, not the programme, but I feel like I'm on a TV show. I don't know why I'm saying that. Later on in the video, should I say. But we will go to the Championship and the big result. Well, the Friday night result we'll say first. Kenny Miller getting an equaliser, as getting the all-important equaliser at Gayfield after Arbroath went 1-0 up after a Jason Thompson opener the Friday night game, and it was honours even there. Some would say that Arbroath perhaps deserved to win the game, but unfortunately it wasn't for them. It was to be honours even at Gayfield. Going into Saturday afternoon's games, it was Ayr United who would hand Dundee United their first defeat and their first drop points of the season. 2 goals for them. Daniel Harvey, the former Rangers player, the former Rangers centre half, getting the first before Alan Forrest put away a penalty 15 minutes from time, and 3 very important points for Ayr United. Dundee in contrast to their City rivals would get the all-important 3 points at home to Alloa. Danny Johnson with a 2-minute goal before Liam Dyke equalised also in the opening 10 minutes, just 8 minutes later on that one, before John McGee, the former United left back, got an all-important goal, and what proved to be the inevitable winner 6 minutes from half time. Alan Troughton missed a penalty 5 minutes after the break. So 3 points for Dundee, 3 very important points to get their season back on track. Inverness Caley Thistle with an all-important penalty 3 minutes from time from Sean Welsh, giving them 3 points in what looked to be a stalemate at East End Park in Dunfermline, but 3 important points for Inverness Caley Thistle, and they are now starting to build a bit of form themselves after what was a bit of a slow start to the season. Opening day defeat against Dundee United, followed by a narrow win against Arbroath, and now they've really got going, unbeaten since the opening day. 3 wins and a draw in that time. And finally, Queen of the South off the mark. It's their first win of the season. Faisal Elbak Tui giving them the inevitable winner 16 minutes into the game in a 1-0 home win against Morton. So Dundee United and Ayr United now joint top of the table after Ayr United got that, what looked to have been a 6-pointer. It would have been 6 points between them had Dundee United won, but it's all evens at the top. 12 points for each of them. Inverness Caley Thistle, like I say, unbeaten since the opening day. 10 points for them. Arbroath just ahead of Dundee, imagine saying that, just before the start of the season. 8 points for both of them. Arbroath with goal difference. Morton, Queen of the South, Alloa, Partick Thistle and Dunfermline making up the bottom 5, with Partick Thistle and Dunfermline only getting they've yet to get into the win column there, so a little bit of thinking for them to do going forward, but we'll go through next weekend's fixtures just shortly. We'll go through Scottish League 1, but the first thing to bring up is that during the international break it was Forfar 1, East Fife 2. Forfar initially had the lead after, trying to think now, it was, I've lost it. Sorry, I can't remember the goal scorers. I think it was Anton Dowds and hang on, we'll come back to this. Sorry, it was Scott Agnew and Anton Dowds has scored twice in 2 minutes just after the hour mark, but it was Ross Forbes, now that I remember, I was there. I do swear I was there, I just need a bit of reminding there. Ross Forbes 3 minutes from time with a scruffy little effort heading past the goalkeeper, but Scott Agnew and Anton Dowds completing the comeback and 3 all important points for East Fife. Going into this weekend, and the big result was at Clyde, and 5 for David Goodwillie. Three penalties, we should say. Quite an emphatic victory. It was Clyde 6, Stranraer 1. The writing was on the wall for Stranraer and away after 29 minutes when Adam Cummins was sent off, giving away a penalty, straight red, before David Goodwillie scored there. Ryan Thompson then conceded the second penalty 3 minutes later. David Goodwillie's got that one, and 2 minutes before the break David Goodwillie completed the first half hat-trick. 3 goals in 13 minutes just before half time, meaning that Clyde went in 3-0 at the break. 10 minutes after the break, the third and the hat-trick of penalties was complete. David Goodwillie getting the goal 55 minutes there. 4-0 it was then, before James Hilton got what was only a mere consolation for Stranraer, before Darren Smith and David Goodwillie scoring goals 5 and 6. David Goodwillie getting his 5th there, and a big 3 points, an emphatic victory for Clyde as they managed to get themselves up the table. At Dumbarton, the C&G System Stadium, it was an all-important 3 points for Airdrieonians. Paul Mackay just before the break giving them the all-important goal in that one. To get them into the top 4. We'll go through the table later on. And Falkirk got a much needed win, back on track for them. Michael Doyle, Lewis Longridge, and two goals from Lewis Longridge, giving Falkirk an all-important 3-0 win at home to Forfar. It is worth mentioning that just after this game, not just after the game, training very recently, Jim Weir and Barry Sellers were involved in, the manager and assistant manager were involved in a very heavy car accident on the way back from training, so we wish them both well, especially from me personally. With myself being a Forth Athletic fan, we wish them all the very best, because Jim Weir is very, very important to the club, and of course his team as well. Barry Sellers is a long time servant of the club, former player himself, so we hope that they're back in the dugout very soon, hopefully this weekend, but we understand that might not be the case, with maybe Gary Irvine potentially putting themselves on the sideline for the upcoming game of the weekend against Montrose, a big local derby there. But nevertheless, an unfortunate 3-0 defeat for Forfar. It was Montrose 1, East Fife 3, so back-to-back trips for East Fife and Angus, both coming away with 2 wins from 2, and Aaron Dunsmore scoring either side of a Blair Lions equaliser to give East Fife a 2-1 win, before Ryan Wallace getting getting the all-important third goal for 6 minutes from time. It was worth pointing out that Terry Masson was sent off for a straight red right in the immediate, literally a minute after the Blair Lions goal. So excuse me. Excuse me. So it was 3-1 to East Fife, big 3 points for them, and they move to the summit of the League One, as we'll go into detail in just a moment. But it was a big 4-0 win for Raith Rovers against Peterhead. Grant Anderson, Michael Miller, Lewis Vaughan on his return to injury, a huge return for him and for of course Raith Rovers, and Michael Miller getting his second. It was a big 4-0 win for them at Starks Park against Peterhead. And that brings us to the tables. It was, like we say, East Fife top the table, 2 points clear of Raith Rovers on 12 points. East Fife with 14, Raith Rovers on 12. Falkirk obviously hovering there on 11. Airdrieonians move up to 4th, they go to 10 points. Dumbarton slipping down the table with only 9 points, with their first defeat in a while. Clyde with 8 after that big win. Peterhead moved down the table after that 4-0 defeat, they go to 8 as well. Forfar have really slumped after back-to-back defeats. They haven't won since... No, they haven't won since they played... I think it was since they played Clyde with that 1-0 win. I think they've now gone three defeats in a row, I think, with Peterhead. They've played Peterhead, East Fife and now Falkirk, 3 defeats in a row for them. Stranraer with 4 points and Montrose yet to get a one in the win column. They struggle away on 1 point. They have 6 points adrift of that automatic safety. 3 points adrift of Stranraer. in the relegation playoff, although it is very early in the season, still 32 games to play. But as a result, we'll now go into League 2 and some big score lines, as it usually is in League 2. Excuse me while I clear my throat a wee bit. Sorry, we're going to go straight to Glebe Park, and it was a big one for Brechin, albeit not on this occasion. It was a big important game as Cove Rangers were in town, and Cove Rangers showed their might, albeit they had to come from behind in this one. Look what, giving Brechin a 3-minute head start before Jamie Masson scored. Mitch Megginson has also scored in the first half. In the opening 21 minutes, it was 2-1 there. Emile and Goy then got an immediate response, 2-2 after 22 minutes. 30 minutes, Declan Glass got another goal for him on the half hour, and then 6 minutes later it was 4-2, so 6 goals in the opening 36 minutes, making it 4-2, and that's how it would remain for the end of the game. So it was 4-2 finish for Cove Rangers, another good win for them. In Edinburgh, Ainsley Park, it was a very clean 4-0 win for Edinburgh City against Annan Athletic, so another good win for them. Goals from Alec Harris, Mark Laird, Chris Kane and Alan Smith, all contributing to a very important 4-0 win for Edinburgh City. It was 1-1 it finished. It was Ewan East that gave Albion Rovers the lead before a very, very late equaliser from Salim Kauder Aissa, should I say, at Hampden Park, meant that honours were shared there. Queen's Park and Albion Rovers. It was a very good 3-0 win for Cowden Beef at Ochilview Park. Craig Barr, David Cox and Archie Thomas scoring in that one to give Cowden Beef a 3-0 win and promote themselves up the table. And Stirling Albion, the first point of the season, it was Josh Peters getting a very important goal. He's been the one scoring the goals for Stirling. Inside the opening 10 minutes, Rabin Omar got sent off for 2 yellows, 19 minutes from time to ease a bit of nerves for Stirling Albion that might have potentially been feared after they hadn't got a point before this one, but the first one on the board, which means the table looks like this. Cove Rangers still undefeated, their only drop points being that 4-4 draw against Albion Rovers. Edinburgh City have really got going now, they're in amongst it, 3 points behind Cove Rangers in second. Cowden Beef 1 point further adrift on 12 points, Queen's Park on 9, Albion Rovers on 8, along with Annan Athletic, even despite that 4-0 defeat, still on 8 points there. Elgin City on 6, Stenhousemuir on 5, Stirling on 3, and Brechin City also on 3, but they are footed at the bottom on goal difference. So the 2 relegated sides from League 1, 8th and 10th respectively, showing that it was never going to be easy for them. But now we shall go into the fixtures. We start off in the Premiership as always, no doubt some important games coming up here. So we start with splitting the schedule, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, Livingston against Aberdeen, Motherwell against Ross County and St Mirren against Hamilton Academical. The 3 o'clock games on Saturday is 12:15, Sunday afternoon, Sunday lunchtime, St Johnstone against Rangers. 3 o'clock it is Celtic against Kilmarnock, and the all important Edinburgh Derby, a much needed win required by both teams in this one to get a bit of confidence. It will take place at Easter Road between Hibernian and Heart of Midlothian. So a big schedule coming ahead, big games on the Sunday especially, St Johnstone Rangers, Celtic Kilmarnock and the Edinburgh Derby. We go into the Ladbrokes Championship and the fixtures look like this. We've got the all games taking place 3 o'clock on Saturday. Alloa against Ayr United, Dundee United against Arbroath. Arbroath had recently just put out Dundee United in the Challenge Cup. So that's good. That'll be a good thing for revenge there for Dundee United. Inverness Caley Thistle against Queen of the South, so a long trip for the Dumfries side there. Morton against Dundee and Partick Thistle against Dunfermline, 2 teams rooted to the bottom of the Championship, having not won a game yet, so much needed win for both teams there as well. We go into League 1, the upcoming fixtures are as follows. And just give me 2 seconds while I just load up the screen, going between different bits. So we've got Airdrieonians against Brave Rovers, 2 teams fighting high at the top of the table, or relatively high at the top of the table, should I say. Second against fourth there, fourth against second, should I say. East Fife against Dumbarton, the league leaders hosting Dumbarton there, so a good chance for them to potentially extend their lead at the top. Forth Athletic against Montrose, the Angus Derby in that one. Peterhead hosting Clyde, the 2 promoted sides from League 2 last season, so an interesting affair there. And Stranraer against Falkirk, so Stranraer coming off a heavy defeat against obviously the full-timers in Falkirk. So that's League 2. Couple of interesting games there. We're going to go, so that's League 1, this is now League 2. I'm going to quickly go through these as soon as I can before I wrap this all up. Albion Rover against Edinburgh City, so Edinburgh City looking to go, continue that great form they're on. And Athletic against Stirling Albion. Stirling Albion looking to get back-to-back wins there. Elgin City against Cove Rangers, so a shorter journey for the Highland League champions. Queen's Park against Cowdenbeath, and Steny against Beacon City, the 2 teams relegated from League 1 in that one, squaring off Alco View. That will do it. 26 minutes of chatter for me. So yeah, it's good to be back, guys. It's obviously been a very long haul, but it's good to be back. Good to be enjoying Scottish domestic football again, especially after the lowlights of the international break. Thank you very much for watching as always, guys. We will be back very soon. We're looking at the Champions League and Europa League, reviewing all that as that is back again. European football's back, so we're going to review that very, very shortly. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again with another review of the next match day in the Scottish Football League. So until then, guys, take care, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, guys.